I just wanted to start out saying, it's kinda hard to make a video about wanted changes for a game that's constantly updating, so a few of my points have already been fixed or at least addressed, but I wanted to keep my original ideas in just to share my thoughts. I'm actually quite new to the games as a service model for video games. I've managed to stick with mostly self-contained, single-player, story-based games from NES to PS5, with the only significant updates coming months after release if enough people complain about something. As well as the free-to-play model. I mean, I played for more than a month, putting in an excess of 60 hours while only spending $1 for the Bright Days outfit. Guess I'm just a bit old school after all. So it's exciting to see a game change and grow as I'm playing it. So I wanted to share some ideas for other changes, and I'll start off with an important one. Custom outfit saves. There is a crazy amount of clothing options already in this game, and it's only a few months old, so surely there will be tons more in the future. A lot of the pre-designed outfits are really nice, but most of the fun comes from collecting and styling your own combinations. Currently, there are 4 outfit slots to save to, which doesn't do a whole lot to preserve your favorites. You may end up keeping your best ones in 3 of the slots, leaving you 1 to play around with. Or you're faced with the decision to sacrifice another that you like. It would be so much easier to experiment with other clothing options without the fear of losing your best ones. I've seen many people suggest more slots, and recently, a potential of that actually happening, which would help some, but wouldn't truly alleviate the issue. So here's my idea. You know how in the wardrobe there's a specific section for the pre-designed complete outfits? You can select any of these, and all relevant pieces and accessories will instantly be equipped to you. Well, let's do the exact same thing, only for outfits we designed ourselves. It could be a separate tab within the Outfit tab that saves any custom outfit we choose to. To me, the outfit slots are a neat way to change in an instant out in the field, but shouldn't be the only way to hold on to specific combinations. I've resorted to pen and paper. Next up, inverted camera controls. If you've watched some of my other videos, this won't be a surprise at all, but it's really strange for a game in the modern age to not have this basic and simple control option. Look, I know most people play the other way around, but the majority of older games used an inverted camera control, so I'm going against a lifelong habit here. Like I say in my invert video, I can adjust sometimes to non-inverted, but it takes a lot of effort, never truly feels natural, and ends up throwing me off when playing other games. I managed to get by fine in Nikki, but that's because it's not the most action-packed, precision-requiring game. But sometimes, I still mess up in a boss fight because I try to look the wrong way. When most games out there have the option to switch this, there's no real excuse to just not have it here. And it's not always as simple as just adapt. Paper games? I'll gladly give you all the blings in my wallet, maybe even a few Stellarite if you implement this option. I guess I'll keep mentioning it on those surveys for the time being. Next, a swimming ability. Ability outfits are a pretty neat concept, and we'll undoubtedly see more of them as the game continues to grow. Before having access to the Fireworks Island, I thought about the possibility of being able to swim out that far. Water works as a boundary in some areas, and a challenge in others, so of course there would need to be some established limit to this function. But having it equipped and going into rivers or small lakes, and not having Nikki instantly evaporate out could be nice. Maybe they could even add in some diving mechanics down the line, as another way to gain specific materials. I could totally see a summer update having a lakeside festival featuring different beachwear to grant the swim ability.
Nikki, let's stay in the shallow water.
Those were my first big 3 suggestions I started out with when first writing notes for this game, and I've added some smaller ones as time went on. One of those is one that's since been fixed, and that's the removal of the Whimcycle riding limits. When the game first launched, you could freely ride the Whimcycle all around Breezy Meadow, and that was a blast. But upon reaching Florawish, or heading in the direction of Stoneville, the game would force you to get off. I could kind of understand this within the city, as it would be easier to get stuck. But the Stoneville limit was really strange. The only limit the bike should have is physical boundaries. Like, I'm not going to ride it up the cliff into the abandoned district. Anyway, none of that matters as of update 1.2. You can now cycle to your heart's content all over Wishfield. It would be nice to see the floral gliding limits removed as well. I'd understand that one a bit more if it was introduced in a later version of the game, but with this being in the first edition, it's kinda weird that the town and the meadow weren't designed with this in mind. Back to bikes. I also considered a mechanic where your transportation comes to you. In many games, you'll get a horse to ride, and a simple whistle will have it gallop straight to you. So I thought about a jockey outfit that would get you on one of those majestic horsies, complete with a whistle. Now that could still be fun, but you can now summon your Whimcycle, provided you bought the pass that lets you do that. It's a firework bike too, which funny enough, ties into my last bicycle-related idea. Tricks. I don't know why, but it is so fun to ride the cycle around, jumping at every opportunity. So I pictured Nikki doing flips and tricks while airborne, maybe for some trivial style points. Could be fun, though it'd be a good idea to put a helmet on first. BMX outfit Nikki. Multiplayer. Like I mentioned, I mostly play single-player games, so I can't go much into detail with this one, but it would be a blast to play alongside a friend, exploring Mirrorland together. Not that any of my friends are cool enough to play girly dress-up games, but still. Even a little local option would be fun, where a second controller would have Momo running around Sonic the Hedgehog 2 style. It wouldn't be practical, but still fun. There is some online connectivity in the game already. I absolutely love the hourglass function. I look at literally everyone I see, even going out of my way at times, to see other people's creativity. Obviously, there has to be some sort of algorithm going on to decide which ones to display. Otherwise, the game would be an hourglass minefield. So it makes me wonder what other ways our photos can be shared. Pairstagram, a potential in-game social media platform to post all of our favorite photos to. You ever take a photo you quite like, but forget to snapshot it, so it sits in your gallery all lonely, never being seen by other traveling stylists? Yeah, me too. This way, we could upload any photo no matter when it was taken, edit the caption or display order, and follow each other to see future posts. A spoiler tag would be a good idea in that case too. I did see mention of photos becoming visible through profiles in the future, so we'll have to see how that plays out. But a dedicated platform within the PairPal would be the most robust way to go, in my opinion. Speaking of hourglasses and taking photos, I really want to see more poses being added to the collection. I maxed these out in the camera's upgrades first, cause although filters and lighting can have practical effects, the poses were the most fun since they alter the subject herself and how she interacts with the location present in the photo. I tend to take at least one photo of every outfit I put together, so I often feel like I'm at risk of repeating certain poses too frequently. Though once new regions are added, our expedition handbook will grow larger, and our upgrade packs will have to go somewhere, right? So I'm certain more poses will be added. Collab. On the first survey I did, there was a section on potential collaborations with other franchises, so instantly Hatsune Miku came to mind. I've been a huge fan of the Miku games since first playing them on PS Vita. I've even had a Miku video planned for 4 years that I still intend to release, but that's sort of a supplement to my Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory video I've been putting off since 2020. They'll both come eventually. Ironically, when I first wrote down the idea of a Miku collab, there wasn't much going on with her schedule. But in just a short time, she's been featured in Fortnite and Rocket League. Weird decisions. I'm sure it's cool if you already play those games and also like Miku, but it seems out of place. When I think of Miku, 2 things come to mind: music and modules, or outfits. She has a long-standing appearance in the Taiko games, so music's covered. And for the outfit side of things, there's no better fit than in a Nikki game. Nikki wearing Miku's signature outfit, complete with turquoise pigtails, or even her own pink, would be awesome. They could even add in some other notable modules too. Going beyond outfits, why not a singing minigame featuring some Hatsune hits? Okay, getting closer to the end, let's just quickfire some more technical adjustments I'd like to see. I always like when games give you an option to rewatch cutscenes. It helps you remember story details, as well as just being fun to watch. What I like best about Nikki's scenes is you get to see her outfits displayed in a new light, so being able to rewatch these scenes with whatever outfit you're currently wearing would be a lot of fun. It could even have a toggle to view it with whichever outfit you had on at the time for historical accuracy, much like looking through Momo's scrapbook with the story-related photos. Back to the world, how about a weather changing function? I get quite a lot of use out of the Run Parapal feature to switch different times of day and change the natural lighting. So a feature to change from sunny to cloudy to raining or storming would be nice. Changing the time does seem to advance the weather, but it's not a specific variable you get to alter. So a separate function for weather within the Run Parapal app would work great to set up that perfect scene. Plus, the weather minigame could be Doodle Jump, or something similar. Okay, next. Some sort of shortcut for ability outfits. This may sound funny, since the selection wheel is already a sort of shortcut, but it can feel clunky switching this way when constantly catching bugs and grooming animals in quick succession. My idea is to be able to set an ability to R2 on the controller, so the combination of R2 and square could groom a Flora sheep, while pressing square solo would swing the net. Or maybe some other setup, where pressing, let's say left on the D-pad will equip the fishing outfit every time, while right on the D-pad will instantly give you floral gliding, with customization of course. A third option, which I like a lot less, could be a setting to automatically use the most relevant ability according to the situation. Standing next to some bubbles, the square button will cast the fishing rod. Chasing down a bug? Press square when the orange icon is shown, and you'll cast your net. standing next to an adorable floof, automatically grooms it. This would work pretty much the same way it does in the later Natsumi Harvest Moon games, where one button does most tasks. Though this doesn't have to outright replace the current system, we'd still need a way to sneak anyway. Next, an in-game checklist for all Whimstars and Dues of Inspiration. The game does keep track of both of these to an extent. Each region on the map will have a number out of its total, telling you how many you have left to collect. And the Whimstars are marked on the map, so it would be easy to look at a guide and determine which ones are missing. But the completionist in me fears the day I'll have 3 missing Kilo orbs and no idea where they could be hiding. For now, I'm perfectly content revisiting familiar areas and accidentally stumbling upon the ones I've missed. But I know I'll eventually strive to have them all, so a logbook in the PairPal that tracks each individual star or Due grouping by region would be a good solution to this. Or at least just a way to use the Momo vision to pinpoint these elusive purple dots. Second to last is a way to sort missions by proximity. I've always been very adamant about completing all my side quests in games, usually tackling them as they're made available before continuing on with the main story. And that's no different for Nikki. The game does sort them by area, and even lists its distance, but if I could rearrange them to put my closest one first, no matter where I am or it is at, that would be convenient, especially when a lot of them appear around one area, like when a new update drops. Also, a better view of the track points on the compass and in the world would be nice. Yellow and blue diamonds are pinpointed in the world view, but not the circular exclamation points. I also like the idea of multiple track points. Finally, I suggest a UI overhaul. Okay, maybe not a full overhaul, but keep the tweaks coming. This does seem to get better with each update, like being able to advance text with X now instead of only circle, the quick select wheel no longer being so finicky, or how getting the rotate feature to work in the wardrobe used to take some extra button presses. We're getting there. I know they have to implement different functionality for tablet, PC, and controller users, so I understand how there could be some things overlooked. But it's a surprise how a game that's so well put together in so many other regards could be so lacking in the user interface. So here's just a few of my suggestions. Every menu should be able to be navigated by the D-pad. This is standard in most games. The D-pad just has more accuracy when dealing with simple up, down, left, and right movements. The inconsistency is what gets me the most. Some menus can use the D-pad, while others cannot. The D-pad does work in the Start menu, the Wardrobe, Factions, Eureka, Mirror Level, the Friends menu, and Daily Wishes, but the D-pad does not work in the Store, Courses, Sketches, Mirror Crown, Glow Up, Evolution, Compendium, Quests, Folklore, Mirror Journey, the Backpack, or any of the realms. The D-pad works as a tab in Dig PairPal and Momo's album, and strangest of all, it only works sideways in the tutorial. The left analog does work in most instances, but there's times where the right analog changes the selection, similar to how L and R deal with tabs. Selection clarity could be improved too. There is a slight difference when some things are selected, like the icon changing sizes in the wardrobe tabs, but it's easy to miss if you look away a minute, especially if your orange selection box is over one of those orange backgrounds for the equipped item. Selection in Glow Up is a slightly different blue. so it's easy to overlook. And probably the best, or worst example of this, is the Among Pieces game, where you get a slight sliver of yellow to indicate your selection. These selection issues, of course, shouldn't be a problem on a touchscreen or with a computer mouse, so why not put the PS5 touchpad to use as a movable cursor? This is utilized when inputting any text via the PS5's own functionality. Also, let us hold a button to increase the speed of the cursor within the Where's Wenda photo investigations. It is painfully slow. The last UI change I've got pertains to the auto mode for dialogue. I like to switch auto on for the voiced scenes, since I'm hearing every word spoken, so there's no need for me to read the text. But then when you go into an unvoiced dialogue, the text will advance on its own before I'm done reading. Of course, there is a chat history, which is helpful in this instance, but still, it gets tiring needing to remember to toggle this on and off each time. So a simple separation of how the two different dialogue types respond to the auto toggle would be good to implement. Like I said, the UI is improving each time, so some of these will likely be fixed as time goes on. The game as a whole is constantly evolving, and I couldn't be any more excited to be here for the journey. The last update I want added is new regions, but that will obviously come when the time is right. We are only the 3rd month in. But thinking ahead to those invisible walls coming down and seeing what other unique regions there could be is quite fun, especially after imagining these places when mentioned in books. The Linglong Empire, Umbrazo, Twin Moon, or Whale Spaceport. The possibilities are endless. For now, I'm still working my way through the massive amount of content already in the game, so I guess I should finish that before adding anything on. Let me know if you'd like to see more Nikki videos in the future. I'd certainly like to show off some of my custom outfits at least. But until then, thanks for watching, and enjoy your time in Miraland.